Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Logical Nonsense Podcast, episode 109. We've got Kaden back on the pod. It's been way too long since he's been on. We're going to talk some March Madness and some of the underwhelming excitement of this tournament, as well as the transfer portal, NIL, and how that's affecting the tournament, some NBA playoffs shaking up. It is that time. It is March, April. It's getting heated up. We got NFL drafts right around the corner. MLB just started. We're going to talk about the Torpedo bats. It's going to be a good podcast. Kaden, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. Like you said, been way too long, but I'm super excited to get back into the sports world. Like you said, every major sport's going on now, pretty much, and there's action all around the board.
Absolutely. Even sports like football, who's not in season, still make excitement through free agency and the draft. So gotta love it. All right, let's start with March Madness. As I just said, underwhelming tournament overall. What are your reactions to this tournament so far?
You know, I don't think I hate it as much as a lot of people do. I know
Yeah.
everyone wants the huge upset, right? Like even in years where top teams kind of dominate, there's always one team that does a little Cinderella. And this year, you got Arkansas that made it far, but it really didn't feel Cinderella-ish. They're still a
Yeah.
Power Five team.
Calipari's there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know, all the upsets were teams that we thought were upsets, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, there's still been some great games. Top level games, and I think this Final Four is star-studded, and I think it's going to be elite. And I'm really looking forward to this Duke Houston game in particular.
Yeah, no, I think, a lot of people are kind of upset with all 4 1 seeds being in the Final Four, but I do think it'll be really entertaining. I think all 4 teams have some really good star power, as you said. Auburn's tough. They've been number 1 pretty much throughout the year. You got Florida, whose offense is crazy. Duke, Cooper Flagg doing his thing, and then you got Houston. So I think this is gonna be a fun Final Four. Who do you think who's your pick on both sides to make the
I,
the the final two or whatever?
I like Florida. I know they've been in some close games, but overall, they're fun to watch. They're quick. They're athletic. I think they match up well with Auburn, as we saw during the regular season. This will be an exciting, SEC rematch
Yep,
here. I think they're the better team. Auburn just struggled late. And then
yep,
Duke Houston, you got probably one of the most efficient offenses versus the top most elite defense. So this game could be low scoring, it could be high scoring. Houston can score, but they play bruiser defense. We'll see how that affects Cooper Flagg in particular, looking at him. Houston's to me, I think I like them. They're my pick. I had them the whole way. I gotta stick with them now, even though I do think Duke is the best team out of these four.
yeah,
I gotta stick with Houston. They're my gut pick. I think they lock it down. It's probably gonna be close. It's gonna be within 5 points for sure. And I don't know.
yeah,
They're fun because they got two hoopers and then three guys that should be playing linebacker. Right?
yep,
They're just
yep.
physical team.
Well, and did you see the post the other day about their mile run or whatever? Like
Yeah.
the
Fuck
slowest guy was
athletes,
like a
bro.
5:46 or
Yeah,
something like that. You
at
think that's real?
6'9", 260. I don't know, man. 6'9", 260 running that fast. I mean, I could see sub 7, but sub 6 for everyone. I don't know.
Little
They're a well
fishy,
conditioned
little
team.
fishy. I don't know what they
Yeah,
got going on over there at
that
Houston,
would,
but
that's crazy though.
yeah. What do you think about Cooper Flagg? We haven't really talked about him a whole lot on this podcast, I don't think at all, but I wanna hear your thoughts before I give mine.
I thought, early season, I watched him play and I was like, he's okay. And then towards the end of the season in this tournament, he's legit. Like, and that's easy to say. Last game in their Elite Eight game, almost triple double, 30 points. He scores efficiently. He's a team player, which you like to see. A lot of these stars are all like eyes on me, cocky, but
Yep.
he's for the team, which I respect a whole lot. And I'm a Duke hater, but the way he plays basketball is insane. I think he's probably the reason they're here, and I think this game's gonna transition well to that next level. He's playing well.
Do you think if he wins the Final Four, do you think he's a number 1 pick, or do you think it matters?
I don't think it matters. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it does
I think it
either,
cements
but
it, but everyone's known he's been number one. I don't. I think he's just almost in a league in his own. with
Yeah.
this draft class. Like just coming into it, he played on Team USA, practiced with those guys for the Olympics. Like he's competitive and he just stands out. Even though I know there's a lot of like foreign, interest, but you never see those guys compete at this kind of level, so you never really know. But
Yeah.
seeing Cooper Flag play this well, I think is a staple to his game. The other question I have for you now is if he wins the title, is he the best one and done player of
Oh,
all time?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the list, right?
Yeah,
Like, there's
I,
so many good
I know.
one and done players, but
Carmelo
Cooper, Fl-
is
yeah,
one.
Carmelo's a good one. I
Anthony
mean,
Davis, I think, is my
AD. Here, yeah. Let me look up this list.
uh,
That's a good question.
Zion
Um,
that comes to mind.
Zion was, I don't know. Zion competes for me, and that's maybe a little bit of recency bias, but thing with Zion and that team is like they should have won it that year. Like that, to me, that was the most talented team. The fact that they couldn't put it together, but if he wins it, you could definitely make the case.
Uh,
He is so fun to watch, in my opinion. Like he can do it all. His defense, I think, is really good. I think offensively, he has so many ways to score. I think this play like I think he's gonna translate really well into the league. What do you think? Do you think he'll translate well?
yeah, I think right away he'll make an impact with whatever team gets him. Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know. All-star first year, I think he could push that potential, especially playing on a bad
Ooh,
team, right? Because I
I
mean, he'll
like
get the
it.
stats. But I think 3, 4 years in, you'd be an elite level player. I think he's definitely bred for this. The way the NBA is set up now, versatile, athletic, understands the game well.
Okay, here's the list that from Bleacher Report. OJ Mayo, Greg Oden, Derrick Rose, John Wall. Ooh, John Wall, man. John Wall was tough. Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Michael Beasley, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Melo's up there, KD's up there, AD's up there. I also really like the John Wall one. John Wall took the freaking world by
Yep.
storm. Um, oof. He's up there. I don't know if he's number one, but what do you think? Do you think he's number
I
one?
think he's 3 probably. I think Anthony Davis is number 1 for me. Like Kentucky team was elite in 2012.
Yeah,
I undefeated. It just maybe one. I think they had one loss that year to Indiana on that
yeah,
buzzer beater, but they were insane. He had more blocks than most teams did. The whole team, just
yeah.
himself that
Is
year.
that the
So
year they played Butler?
no, they beat Kansas in the national championship that
Got it.
year.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you would know that. You would know
Yeah, our team
that.
was stacked that year too, and only lost by 5. But they dominated. They won every game by like 50 that year. John
Yeah,
Wall's year was really good
yep.
too. I think you put him he's top 5.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
surprised how low he was on that list. He was like number 8
I
because they
think if
ranked him, and I was
yeah,
like, "How is he number 8?" John Wall was freaking good,
yeah,
dude. Him and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, oof,
mhm,
that team was good.
yeah. I think
That
if
team was
Derrick
really
Rose,
good.
if they win the Natty, he's probably
Yep,
higher. But Mario
yep.
Chalmers said no to that one.
Yeah.
That was nice. That was but
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good question. I like that. I
uh,
like the quizzing me on it. I love it. Alright, who has been your favorite player to watch this tournament? Besides Cooper Flagg.
yeah. Oh man, that's tough. Like I like that guy from Drake. I can't remember his name. Their point guard,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the
I know who
coach's
you're talking
kid.
about.
That's
Yep.
averaging like 30. He was fun, but they only played 2 games, which sucked for them because I thought they could have made a pretty deep run. But LJ Cryer is always fun to watch for Houston. The way he plays, the way he understands the game, defense is just bully ball. He's been in college for like 6 years too, so his experience is there. Fuck. Oh God, Walter Clayton Jr. from
Oh,
Florida.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been good, man.
yeah,
His story's cool too.
he's
Coming from
elite. I think.
Iona.
Yep, I think he's the reason Florida's going to win this. Could win the Natty. Like I think that he's the reason they beat Auburn. Is their point guard plays elite. So those two are probably my top end besides Cooper Flag.
What do you think of Derek Queen?
I don't
Very
know.
weird style of play.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody threw out a Boris Diaw comp, and I kinda liked it. I was like, I see what they're saying.
Yeah. I don't know, he's interesting because, like, the stat lines, he fills them up, but then when I watch him play sometimes, I'm like, I don't know about this guy. I think he's very hit or miss, a very streaky kind of player. When
Yeah.
he's on, his touch around the rim is great, but I don't know, I feel like he could develop a little bit more athletically, at
Yeah.
least at the
Yeah.
next level. That buzzer beater, did you think it was a
Yeah.
travel?
It's close.
Here's
It's
here's my
close.
take on it. Right, in the NBA, you get a gather step. That's completely legal. In the NCAA, you don't get a gather step
Oh,
like you do.
interesting.
So it's a travel. In my opinion, it was a slight travel, but it's still a nice shot. Fading left, banking it in. That game was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Been some crazy games still,
Uh,
like you said. So,
there's some
um,
fun.
also a lot of talk with March Madness in particular. A lot of people are saying March Madness is ruined because of NIL. Do you agree with that statement?
To an extent. I don't know. This whole NIL thing to me is still like understanding and seeing how it develops out. Obviously, there's like 1,500 players in the portal already, and the
Yep.
season's not
And
even over
we'll
yet.
get to that in a sec.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't understand why players are allowed to enter the portal before the season's over. I think that should be changed
Yeah.
because you got teams still in the tournament and they're recruiting like
Yep.
players that are in the transfer portal already. So I think that needs to be addressed. I don't think you should be able to enter until
There's a
after the
lot of
season's
rules
over.
that need to be changed.
Yeah, and like I'm okay. I always thought NIL was okay. I thought that if you wanted to transfer, you should be able to. Like coaches can leave whenever they want. So I think a player should transfer and not have to wait out a whole season. I think that's good for the game.
Yep.
But some of these players now are getting 4, 5, 6 million before the season's over. Like they're probably in talks mid-season with who they're
Yep.
going to next, which is not good for the game at all.
No.
And top teams can load up, but I don't think it completely destroys like the upset potential. Like you see teams like I'll take Kansas for example. We got 3 of the top 4 NIL transfer players last year. We paid them a bag, and then they don't transition to the next level. We weren't very good this year. So I still think you can find Cinderellas and teams. They're going to get guys that have a love for the game and aren't just money tied. And I still think you're going to find upsets and stuff, but it's definitely a new era. And I think we can see a lot of coaches retiring, like Izzo, stuff like that. Like now that the new game is in full swing, because coaches trade almost as much as the players now too, which is
Yep.
crazy to me.
Do you think we're gonna see less and less of like the mid majors upsetting the big dogs because of it?
I I'm gonna say yeah. I'm more on like the low end mid majors, like your UMBCs, your
Yep.
FDUs. It's gonna be more like the upper level mid majors, like Florida Atlantic, UAB, kind of like that level that you'll see the
Yeah.
upsets just because they can afford
Yep.
top level talent. But yeah, I can see a full swing where you're not gonna get many small schools being able to upset just because players are going to be so hard to acquire for more than a year because all those upsets are guys that develop over 4 years. Now
Yeah.
it's you're good for one, you're on to the next level or a new program right away.
I put this in the chat yesterday, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was a very interesting concept. It was on Bill Simmons' podcast. Shout out Bill Simmons. But basically, their idea to help fix NIL or whatever, especially helping out the mid majors, would be is if a mid major, say like Iona or FGCU, develops the next Ja Morant or something like that, right? And he decides, yo, I'm gonna go make a bag at Kentucky or wherever. That Kentucky has to pay part of the NIL deal to that smaller school for them to transfer, and that will be used for their bank. Like they have to only use that in NIL, so that way they can build up their funds as well. Thoughts on that?
It's very interesting. I kind of like
Yeah,
it. Like
I like
first
it
when I
too.
first hear it, I think that's a good idea because I'm sure the mid majors to say their top player goes to Kentucky for 4 mil, right, and they
Yep,
get a cut like a million.
yep,
They could probably get 3 solid players with that
exactly,
million, or yeah. So I could see that, and but then what constitutes like a mid major from stealing players from like a lower mid
exactly.
major? Then where do you draw the line on who
Yep,
has to pay who's better than who? What rankings do you base that off of? So Like, I don't
No,
know
I
how you would
think
decide
the
that.
way they would have to do it, which kinda sucks, and then it becomes more of a professional thing, is then I feel like to make it the most even, you would have to basically Power 4
Mhm.
conferences,
Yep.
they have to pay, and then the mid-majors don't,
Yeah.
that kinda thing, but
Mhm.
that's the only way I could see it,
Yeah.
because I agree with you, I don't know how you could tier it, and I also think it depends on sport too, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
you know, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it would depends on sport, because I
Mhm.
mean, there's certain conferences in basketball that aren't even in football and
Right.
vice versa, so, yeah.
Yeah. There's so many players
Like,
too,
would you
right?
throw the Big East in that
Right.
Power 4 tier? Like, yeah, it'd have to be ranked, and I feel like it'd have to be adjusted too, if in a few years, for example, like, if the WCC is all of a sudden this power conference in basketball, then I feel like you'd
Yep.
have to adjust it. I
Mhm.
don't know. It'd be
Right.
really interesting. I think, honestly, what you could do with that is, like, maybe tournament bids. If you have more than, put in, let's say, 5 teams in the tournament or
Mhm.
something like that, then you're in that upper up echelon of tier or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very interesting concept, though.
There's also, what if you implemented a NIL cap? So you could only pay a
Yep,
player like 1,000,000, right? So then mid majors, maybe they spend 1,000,000 on one really good player, and they can't get stolen if they want to play there for like 4,000,000,
yep.
because that's a big difference for these kids. But if it's 1,000,000 across all these schools, then you can pick where you want to go, kind of too. I wonder how that would influence the game.
Yeah,
So you
it
can't
it
just have
definitely level the playing
like
field.
yeah, like Texas A&M, right? They get hundreds of million from donations every year from their top dogs, because all that oil money, right? Like if they can only pay 1,000,000 to a bunch of players, like football, basketball, wherever you want to allocate it, I wonder how that would change, like
Oh, it definitely
recruiting for
changed it a
them and
lot.
stuff. So
It definitely changed it a lot. Yeah. And then I think, then we get and then I think the people's argument against that would be, well, they're just gonna continue to do it under the table
yeah,
anyways.
true.
So, there's no great solution, but there still needs to be something. It's kind of shocking to me that there has been 0 rules on this,
Mhm.
like, whatsoever from the NCAA. Like, there's, like, no commissioner whatsoever. There's no Roger Goodell or Adam Silver in this saying, like, "This is the rules." This is like, it is, like, open range, and I'm shocked that the NCAA thought this would
Mhm.
go well.
Yeah.
I don't yeah, it's kinda crazy, but NCAA never wanted this in the first place, so maybe this is their strategy, the chaos and wanting people to fix it. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, let's go to transfer portal. You mentioned 1,700. Yeah, I looked it up today. Over 1,700 college basketball players in the transfer portal. Absolutely ridiculous,
Yeah.
man. The craziest part to me is, like, are that many kids gonna get signed at another school in D1?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
And
think so. Yeah, what are your thoughts on transfer portal specifically in basketball?
it's just, it feels too much, right? Like
Yep,
like even 5 years ago, man, there was like 100 players max that
yep,
would hit the transfer portal just because you had to wait the year. And at first, I was like I said earlier, I thought it was a good idea to let players, if they want to transfer, not have to wait out a year, because I think loyalty would tie somewhat to a lot of these programs. You stick with your coach, you stick with your teammates, but now it's like one bad thing goes wrong, I'm in the portal, I'm out of here. Like screw you, I got
yep,
money coming this way, or I don't like this one teammate, or I don't like my coach. I'll just leave and go to a new program.
yep.
And a lot of these players, it's their fourth or fifth transfer already,
Yeah, which
which
is just
I
crazy.
yeah, I think if you limited number of transfers, maybe
Yep,
you could tie this in a little bit. Like you get one free transfer and then you can play right away. But if you transfer to a second school, then you have to wait the year. I
yep,
think that could be a limiter into this, because right now it's just a hodgepodge of players all trying to go to one team. How do you even recruit this? Because you got your recruits coming in. You have this many options on the transfer portal. You
yep.
get a guy in the transfer portal, then he pulls his name and retransfers. And how do you allocate scholarships? And it
Well,
is a
yeah, that's
mess
a
right
great
now
point you bring
too.
up too, like, coming out of high school is scary now.
Yeah.
Like, you could sign with a school and then they get this big transfer from Kentucky or Kansas or whoever who, like, I heard it today, like, Who are they going to choose? The kid out of high school with no college experience or the kid with experience in college ball? They're going to choose the kid with experience in college ball. So it's huge disadvantage to high school recruits and it's going to lower. And then to your point, that high school transfer goes there and then they're transferring the next year. So it's just this constant cycle. I've heard of the limitations on the transfers. I like that idea. I've also heard the idea of making them stay with a school for at least 2 years. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'd be completely okay with that too. I think
Yeah.
when you sign, like especially now, if you're going to make it NIL and you're going to make this a business oriented thing, then you're in for 2 years. If I'd be okay with that, you're committing to this team. You're committing to this coach, the program, to your teammates. And you're saying if you want to be here, then I'm here for 2 years. I'd be okay with that. That feels very similar to the wait out a year and then play kind of thing. But then you get to play right away, so I'd be okay
Exactly.
with that. I'd be okay with that one too. But there's got to be something, man. I don't know who's got to crack down, but somebody's got to do something here. Otherwise, it's going to get worse and worse, and who knows what will happen the next couple of years.
Yeah. We will watch and see. I mean, basketball and football we've heard the most about, so
Mhm.
we'll see with the other sports. I feel like we just don't hear about the other sports. I know wrestling. I know you probably don't know a whole lot about wrestling, but even wrestling, man. Transfer portal's nuts in wrestling right now. Like absolutely freaking bonkers. I know I'm boring our fans right now, but it is bonkers. So, all right, well, let's go into the NBA playoffs. Who are your surprises in making the playoffs and the play-in, and as well as the end of the season and how they finished it?
And I like the way the Pistons are playing right now. They're probably my biggest surprise. I think
Yep.
they're bringing this bad boy Piston vibe, as we saw the other day. They got in that fight against the Timberwolves. So they're,
Yep.
they're bringing that vibe. They're playing well. They're on a heater right now. They're going to be probably the 5 seed in the East, which is
Yep.
a huge improvement. Shout out Cade Cunningham. He's played awesome this year.
Yep.
I think they're peaking at the right time. I think they get a favorable matchup probably in the first round too. So I think they can make some noise. I
Yep.
like they're hot. The Warriors with Jimmy are hot right now. They're like 18-2 with Jimmy Butler and Steph in the lineup together. They
Yep.
beat Memphis last night, and Steph had 50 points.
Crazy.
They're hot. I, I don't. I'm excited for those two. I'm excited to see what the Nuggets do. They started kind of slow and they've turned it up. I'm excited to see the Lakers, how they compete in the playoffs. I think there's a lot of
West
teams
is
catching
loaded,
fire. The
man.
West,
West
you're
is loaded.
11 Clippers are what 11 games above 500, and they're the 8 seed.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? West will be stacked. West will be fun. East, I think you got a 2-team race,
Yep.
and I think it's still heavily favored in the Celtics. Like
Yep.
Cavs, I think are good, but I don't know if they're a playoff competitive team.
Yep.
But I'm excited to see the war in the West.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you got the Thunder who have been
Yeah,
just dominant all season long.
yeah,
Lakers, Luca, LeBron. How the fuck are you gonna count
yeah.
them out? Like you said, the Warriors are hot as shit right now. Steph's looking like he's in his prime again. I feel like like every 2 years he just looks like he's in his prime again.
Mhm.
Nuggets, I mean, Jokic, they've done it before, they can do it again. Grizzlies are tough. I don't think they're gonna be a title contender, but they are tough. T Wolves, we
Mhm.
saw what happened when we counted them out last year.
Yep.
Obviously a different team, but and then the Clippers, like you said, like it is so stacked. And I'm not putting the Rockets in there just because yes, they've had a really good season,
Yep.
but to me, they're again, we've talked about this before. They seem like a regular season
Mhm.
team to me. I just don't see them in a
Yep.
7 game series
Yep.
beating a lot of other of these teams. Like this might be a bold take. I wouldn't be surprised if they're booted first round.
Mhm.
Like,
I I I agree with you 'cause I
yeah,
think they get the 3, and they draw the Warriors potentially or
yeah,
Memphis and like I don't know. I don't see them winning that much either. They feel like a Jazz regular
yep.
season team to me too. Like I like the way they play defensively, but nothing speaks like going out and upsetting a top ended team in the West. Like they just don't stack up across the board really with many teams.
Yeah.
I don't feel. Maybe I'm sleeping on them. Maybe they'll surprise me, but
They could. I don't know.
if they're in the East, I think they could make
I also
second,
think,
maybe
like,
even.
Sengun is too inconsistent for me. Like, I like Sengun, I think he's a great player, and, like, he's had some really good games this year, but, like, I don't know, he just seems like one of those players to me, like, in a big moment, like, can I trust Sengun? I don't know, especially against some of these vets, if the like you said, if
Yeah,
they're playing the Warriors or the Grizzlies, I'm probably taking either one of those teams over the Rockets in a 7-game series, so
yeah, yeah. They get the good thing about the Rockets though is they have Ime as a head coach, and I think he's a top level head coach. Like we saw what he did with
definitely.
Boston when he was there, and we've seen what he's done with this Rockets team already in 2 years. So I know never count them out when you have great coaching,
True.
but still, it's just so competitive. And I think there was even disappointing teams in the West. Otherwise, it could have been even more competitive. Like Wemby doesn't get hurt. I think the Spurs with Fox are in
They
there.
could've snuck in, we
I
talked
think
about them.
the Kings, man, to start the year, I thought they were going to be a top 5 team in the West, and
Yep.
they had a disappointing season. The Trailblazers are hot right now. Like, give them a year or two.
Yeah, I know.
The upside on the West is just unbelievable right
Yeah.
now.
Dude, can the Suns sneak in
Yeah,
playoffs?
I think they're gonna get the last playing spot. I think
It's
so.
kinda crazy because
Yeah,
I've talked a lot of shit on them this year.
yeah. I mean, they're not good, but you still have Book and KD, and KD's
Yeah.
playing at an elite level, man. For 36 or 37, however old he is, he's elite. And I don't know, Devin Booker, like what happened to the guy? I feel like I barely ever hear any big stat line games from him
Yeah.
anymore. I don't know. It's not clicking. Obviously, Durant's gonna be gone next year, and that whole experiment going to fail again. Like big threes just don't seem to be working anymore, which is crazy because they were like the talk of the league for so long, and now it's so hard to orchestrate a good big top three.
Well, like what I said, in my podcast a few weeks ago, or I can't remember when I said it, but like you have to have a mix. Like you have to have stars on your team. Like you have to have those go-to guys, but you also have to have team chemistry. Like we're seeing it now with the Thunder, we're seeing it now with the Cavs, even a team like the Celtics. Like you have to have that core, and like all those teams, like if you look at those teams, like been building around that core for a long time. The Thunder have been building around Shea for a long time, and they're all really close. Like they love playing with each other. Same with the Celtics, right? Like Tatum and Brown have been the core for how long? Like it makes sense when you continue to just like, okay, this is our core, this is our identity. We're gonna build around these guys. We're gonna build up our depth around these guys. Because like you look at these teams, they have depth. Like depth, in my opinion, on top of having the stars is almost like that outrules. Like the Suns don't have depth. And I said that when we first made the trade. Like, why get rid of your depth? Like that's what made that Suns team so good when they made the finals a few years ago. And that's why they're not doing well right now. Like they got rid of all their depth for fucking Bradley Beal, who I'm sorry has not lived up to expectation. Like at all. And I hated the deal when it happened. Like Bradley Beal was a good player on a bad team. I'm sorry. Like Bradley Beal fans come at me in the comments. I don't give a shit. Like he was a good player on a bad team. We see it all the time. Like and he hasn't don't even get me on this guy
No,
again. All right. Well, who do you think could be sneaky good play-in teams on both sides? So East, we have Magic, Hawks, Heat, and Bulls. Which of those 4 teams do you like best to make a run, possibly?
why is it a lock to have the Heat, the Bulls, and the Hawks in the play-in in the East every year? Like they're always there.
Yep.
It's like
Especially the
doesn't matter.
Hawks, man.
Yeah, yeah. The
God
Hawks are
damn
the
it.
most 500 team I've ever seen of all time.
Yep.
Oh my!
Yep.
I think they're the best team. Actually, the Magic I think are the best team out of those 4. They just been
Yep.
injury prone all year. But
Yep.
I think the Magic and the Hawks get out of that group of 4. The Bulls, I don't know. They've been playing
I was
good
gonna
lately.
say,
Like
lately, their
like
momentum kinda makes me
Giddy
wanna lean
Giddy's
there.
been playing at an absolutely elite level on the
That half
Bulls,
court shot
which
was crazy.
that was nuts. Like every time you see the stat, I'm like, oh, he almost had another triple double. Oh, he almost had a quad double. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good to see his career kind of
Yeah.
spark again after that
Absolutely.
trade. So that's nice to see. I know the Bulls are on a heater right now. I could see them sneaking in, but
Yeah.
absolutely the
Yep.
Magic. I just think
Yeah.
they're way better across the board. Without injuries, they're probably a top 4 team, top 5 team
Yeah.
in the
Well,
East, but
And they've got
if
that
all.
defense too,
Mhm.
which definitely translates in playoffs,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
that's definitely something that I think translates. So I could see Magic or Bulls. I like that.
yeah,
What about in the West? We got right now, as of now, I mean, it's
yeah,
still shake up. So you think the Suns are gonna get in? I could totally see that. As of today, though, it's T Wolves, Clippers, Mavs, Kings.
yeah. I think it's pretty clear cut. I think you got Clippers and T Wolves. Like I don't
Yeah.
see them losing. They're just too star like
Yep.
oriented right now. Especially the Timberwolves. They've experienced how they've been there. I think they're just at they lose a lot of games they shouldn't lose.
I agree.
And yeah, the Clippers, they're hot right now. Now they've got Kawhi playing. James Harden's been playing good. So I think you got two teams that are still pretty hot right now entering the playoffs against two teams that I don't think are very good. They just are more
Squeak.
product of a good start to the year or like a decent start to the year, like just hanging around that 500 level. Like
Okay, I asked this on my poll, and I want to, and I saw you answered no, so I want to quiz you on it.
yeah,
So I asked on my poll, do you think it's weird that teams who are under 500 are in the play-in tournament or the playoffs?
mm, yeah, I don't know. I still don't think it is. I mean, the point of the plan was to keep teams competitive, and
True.
so that's like I see that they're doing well with their whole point of that. Because there's like we see in the West, man. There's so many teams over 500 by 10, 11, 15 game, 20 games that there's going to be teams that have to be under 500. It's just the way that it
Yep.
works. So
The math works.
yeah,
Yep.
like your top end's so heavy that your middle to low end's going to be below average like that. So like to me, it makes sense. And I think it keeps teams competitive, so we're not all just tanking for Cooper Flagg at this point. Still playing for something, especially like the Bulls, right? They're hot right now. They sneak in. Maybe they sneak in, play the 2 seed, like and maybe like the Celtics. I mean, I wouldn't say they'd steal a couple games, but you never know. Like if you're hot at the right time,
You could.
yeah, who knows?
Definitely could. I like it. Okay. All right. Well, let's move into MLB. MLB started, which always I love the start of MLB. People get excited about baseball. Biggest news, torpedo bats. The Yankees, I was looking at this. Their first 2 games, they scored like 19 runs or something like that with these new bats. Not every player, I will say this, not every player is using them. I think that's a big 24 runs in the first 2 games and then 12 in their third game. Not every player is using them. I think that's a big miss by the media. Of course, they're going to want to just, you know,
Yeah,
say whatever is going to get the people talking. But what are your thoughts on these bats?
I think it's super interesting, right? Like
Yep.
to find a little loophole in the rules and that it's never been thought of until this year, right? That you can change the way the bat's designed to still fit within the criteria. That they had
Yep.
that guy from MIT do it, who's also a hitting coach. So like that's cool. Makes more sense, right? You more surface area where you hit the ball. It's more forgiving. And so like that all makes sense to me. And it's cool. But I also think the best team in baseball also got hot early season with the new bats too. So it's like a huge correlation because now you're seeing other players using the
Yep.
bats and struggling. So I just know I think it's just like it was like a Linsanity kind of thing right away, right? Like new bat, all of a sudden they're just hitting scoring 19 runs in a game or 20 runs or whatever the Yankees scored that one game.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I think it's cool. I think it's interesting to redesign something, like that's been a staple in the sport forever,
Yeah.
and then to see results like immediately. It's game changing.
Well, and it's weird too because like you don't really see this in any other sport. I know there was a joke about hockey, right? Like that one guy he pulled up like this is the torpedo bed of hockey, but like
Yeah,
what other sport do you really use your own equipment? You know what I'm saying? Like football, like everyone plays with the same ball, basketball you play with the same ball. So it's like this is really one of the only sports where you could like kind of dictate this like what your bat is built like, which is really interesting. But I do agree with you. It'll be interesting to see if like it sustains. I saw they only scored 4 runs today, but yeah, I'll be very interested to see like if it sustains because it's I mean it's widespread. Like people are adopting it really quick, so maybe they're just trying to hop on the train. But yeah, I don't know.
I
Very
feel like
interesting.
yeah, it's like I'm gonna correlate this to golf a little bit, right?
Yeah, true.
You can have clubs like that are more forgiving, irons that are more forgiving, right? But at the end of the day, it's still the golfer, it's still the batter, it's still
Yep.
like the skill level of the player, and a
You
little bit
still
of
have to use it.
forgiveness. Yeah, you still have to be able to understand and play the game at an elite level. And so even just a little bit more forgiveness, I don't think it alters the game in a like that much of a game breaking way. Because now pitchers will adjust and stuff like that. So I just think it was just like a
Yeah.
boom, like in your face, like here's the torpedo bats, and the Yankees go back to back to back, 3 pitches in a row. And it was a crazy media thing to blow off the season. The excitement was correlated around it. But yeah, we'll see how it goes the rest of the year.
I love the golf reference, and the reason why is because I don't know if you remember, but there used to be, like, tummy putters, and they were a huge craze for, like, 2, 3 years, and then they banned them.
Mhm.
So, kind of interesting. I can see the correlation there. A lot of people are mad, though, because it's the Yankees, and they say, like, "Let's put in the Twins there." They start using them. Do you think they're banned if the Twins are the first ones to use them?
I don't really think I think it's more attention, right? Because it's the Yankees. But at the end of the day, I think any team that used them, if they were scoring 20 runs, would get media attention like this. I just think, like
I
you said,
agree.
they wouldn't get as much hate. Like obviously
Yeah.
everyone hates the Yankees, but Yankee fans, so
Yep.
that's really where it came from. But now, like the Braves, right? They're as a team. Have you seen their batting average as a team? It's like point under
Terrible,
point.
yeah.
So yeah, awful. So now their whole team's using these bats, and they finally won their first game today. But I don't know. I still don't. I think it's just a craze, and I think like anyone besides the Yankees or the Dodgers, I still think it would get attention. I just don't think it would get as much hate per
Yeah.
se.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, people are being petty, like, for sure. I'm like, "Guys, come on." Like, I don't know. They just find like you said, like, people find ways to hate
Mhm.
on teams and players they
Yep.
hate, and this
Yep.
was just another example of that, so
Oh my god.
very interesting.
Yeah. I saw
Any other MLB thoughts?
this isn't MLB, but I will share this meme that I saw. It was a picture of Quinn Johnston from the Chargers, and he said he's got new torpedo gloves, and his hands were just absolutely massive. It's like maybe he'll catch a pass this season.
That's
So
good.
uh,
That's fucking good.
maybe this will transition to other leagues.
Alright, let's hop into NFL free agency. First one I wanna bring up because it's one of the more recent ones. Russell Wilson to the Giants. What do you think of this signing? Do you think it'll help the Giants at
Yeah,
all?
man, I don't know. I don't understand this move really on the aspect of the Giants or the Steelers.
Yeah.
Like from the Steelers aspect, you bring in DK and then you lose both your quarterbacks just like that.
Yeah, they
So
still don't have anyone.
what are we doing on that? And I was like, okay, you lose field to the Jets. All right, we're settling on Russell. We got a done deal. And then you see this happen, and you're like, well, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing over there? I was more excited for the Giants to have Jameis Winston personally because I thought it was going to be way more. I knew they're going to be bad still, but I thought it
Yep.
was gonna be way more entertaining. Malik
Yeah.
Favors is going to have 30 touchdowns, and Jameis
Yep.
Winston's going to have 50 interceptions and 50 touchdowns. I don't know. I just don't think the Giants will be competitive. They just don't have a good team really built around him.
No.
I don't know. It feels like just the end of the career for Russ now. And I think he was
It's kinda
better
sad.
suited. Yeah, I think he was better suited in Pittsburgh. I would have liked him see him stay in
Yep.
Pittsburgh and try to lead that team because he did good for the most
Yeah.
part of last year, like till the end.
Yep.
But and now I think he just puts himself in a end of the career situation in New York, and
I agree.
it does suck to see.
Giants is gonna be an interesting
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
I also just don't understand, like, you have the 3rd pick.
yeah.
Like, why not like, if you have Jameis, why not take a chance on somebody like Jackson Dart or
Yep,
Shadir Sanders, whoever
yep,
you like?
yep.
Um,
Exactly.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really understand the move.
Mm,
Honestly, like, Joe Shane, like, his decision making hasn't been the greatest in my opinion. I know he's gotten a lot of hate, and I think it like all stemmed like, look at the Giants, like they gave up Saquon, and like yes, like I totally understand it, but like look at like this is gonna sound stupid, but hear me out for a sec. Like look at how much better Saquon was on a different team than the Giants. Like, he blossomed on the Eagles because the Eagles had the best offensive line in the fucking league, and they were able to give him the ball 20 times a game and force feed him under a really good line, under a really well coordinated offense with Kellen Moore. Like, that team was built for success. Like, the Giants were not built for success. Like, they weren't doing Saquon any favors, and Saquon wasn't doing them any favors. Like, that was a lose-lose situation. And honestly, I think it was probably best that they weren't wasting their money on a guy like Saquon to lose. Like, they weren't going to be any better last year with Saquon. Like, sure, they might have won 2 or 3 more games, but like, they're not going to be playoff contenders.
No.
So I think giving him hate on the freaking Saquon, I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, I agree. I like the way you put that. It opens up a new perspective to a lot of people, I think, that are just more sold on the how can you let him walk? Like he's that guy. You didn't even give him an offer kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you're right, man. Like it was better for the league. We saw how it panned out. And, it sucks losing that running back to your rival. But
Yep.
like you said, man, because now I think it sets them up for a better position in the future. Like they were tanking, now they're going to get a better draft pick. They're going to have more
Yep.
money to spend. So you kind of
Exactly.
got to look at it as a long move. Like it sucks
Yep.
in the now, but the benefit future is more than the gain they were going to get this last season or in the
Exactly.
next couple of seasons. So I agree. And like you said, we see it a lot too with like DeMarco Murray on the Cowboys years ago when he had 2,000 yards, right? You get put in a situation, the best O-line, really good coaching staff. And when players are put in those situations and can thrive like that, it definitely makes the league more enjoyable.
Yep. I completely agree. Let's talk about Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp duo in Seattle. Thoughts on this?
I don't know. I think Cup going home, I think it's a good move for him. I think he needs to be wide receiver 1 for his career.
Yep.
I think we've seen his numbers and, with the injuries too, but his numbers declined throughout the years. Now that he wasn't, especially the last 2 years with Puka, him not being able to be number 1. So I like the move for him. I think it could be a career revival. I know a lot of people are saying like it's almost done for him. Like he's washed kind of thing. His peak's over, but I think it's good for him, and I think it's good for Sam Darnold. I think he deserves to get paid, and I think a lot of people are ready for the Vikings after one bad performance to move on to JJ or whoever else
Yep.
they're going to move on to, which I don't think is fair to Sam Darnold because he had a great season last year.
Yep.
But I think could be a good duo. I think for the Seahawks, they saved a lot of money too, moving on from DK and Geno to this.
Yep.
I would have kind of would have liked to see Cup and DK though. I think that could have been interesting.
That would have been
But
interesting.
they got JSN still. Tyler Lockett is gone, so
Yeah,
we'll
he
see.
still doesn't even have a home.
Yeah, which is crazy to me because he's just one of
There's
the
a
most
lot of good
consistent
free agents still on the
receivers.
market.
There's a lot
A
of
lot of
teams
good free agents.
that need receivers still. I can think of one that still
Hey,
needs a wide
same here,
receiver
buddy.
too.
Same here.
So I like it. I think it's good for the Seahawks. They save money. They pick up 2 solid players and younger players too, and Sam Darnold at least. So.
All right, this is selfish, but let's talk about our teams. What have you thought of the Cowboys free agency?
Man, we never do anything in free agency. First off, like we haven't spent over $6 million on a free agent in like 15 years or something. Absolutely nuts. Like, we're just not we're a team that builds through the draft and then trades our first round picks for a washed player. And that's how we rebuild. But we did get running backs.
Yeah, Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams, I liked that
Enjoy.
pickup. We'll see. It's
He
better
didn't
than
have
I
a
think we had.
100-yard game a single
Yeah.
time this season.
Well, neither did Rico Dowdle till like week 15. So I mean, I can't. I don't know. Miles Sanders he was good on the Eagles like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
He played Carolina, so no
True.
line. So we'll see. I think it's an upgrade in the running back room. I'm still looking for O linemen. I'm still looking for a wide receiver too. I'm still looking for nose tackles, DNs. Now that we lost
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yep. Linebackers. So there's still a lot to be desired. And I thought there's a lot of players on the market again that we could have got that we just failed to. So we'll see. I know we're shopping Dak. I don't know if that's a rumor to Cleveland. So we'll see how it all pans out. Honestly, as a Cowboys fan, I wouldn't mind a full reset at this point because then you don't gotta have false hope and you just know you're going in tank mode.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see who we draft, but don't have many high expectations for next year.
Yeah. No, it was an interesting free agency for you guys, but I honestly didn't expect anything less. Broncos, on the other hand, damn, did not expect us to do so well. I was like, coming after last season, I don't know if you
Yep.
remember my rant I went on this podcast. I was pissed. I mean, we're selling the team, worked out for us, but I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck are we doing? And then this year, we go out, we get one of the best safeties in the league in Hufanga. I'm praying he stays healthy because when he's healthy, he is so
Yeah.
good. I think he was AP All Pro a few years back, so he can be good, man. And Greenlaw, one of the best linebackers in the league, very underrated. And then we get Evan Ingram, who I think with Sean Payton, Bo Nix, that's a recipe for success, man. I'm excited about what we did free agency. I hope we top it off with a good draft too. So
Now, if for you guys, an already elite defense adds 2 more elite players,
yeah,
that defense is gonna be scary. Like
yep.
20, 16 point per game, scary. I think next year. I think
Yeah, no,
you're
it's
gonna put
competing with some of the
Chiefs
best
defense.
defenses
That's
I've
what
seen at the
that's
Broncos. I
yeah,
mean, you got
yeah,
Surtain still, you got McMillan still, you've got freaking Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper.
which
Or, yeah,
it's awesome for your offense too, because you don't got to score 35 points a game now to win.
exactly,
Like you can win low
exactly.
scoring 20-point games now, which we can see out of a still experiencing, still developing Bo Nix, right? There's going to be games
Yep,
that you got, and he struggles,
and he
and
had games.
yep. But now, they're winnable. Every game is going to be winnable, which is what you want to put yourself in a position to do. So yeah, I loved your guys' pickups.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank the Niners that they have to sell their whole team.
Yeah, thank
They have
God.
to pay Brock Purdy. So
Yep,
it's nice
yep.
pickups.
Yeah, I was excited. All right, let's talk about NFL rules.
Mhm.
First rule change. We'll talk about overtime rules. People have complained for years about both teams not getting the ball. What do you think?
I think this was due. I think both teams should get the ball.
So you're on that side.
Personally, I'm on that side. Yeah, I think
I
we've been
wish
fucking.
Dodge was here. Oh, I wish Dodge
I
was
know.
here.
I think we've been fucking around with these OT rules for way too long.
Yep.
I think either just develop the college rules or fucking give both teams the ball.
I don't even like the college rules anymore,
No,
though.
not anymore. The old college
Yeah,
rules
yeah,
before
yeah.
the 2-point conversion BS.
Yeah, that was
But
bullshit. But
yeah, this got tabled. I think 15 minutes in overtime instead of 10. Personally,
yep.
I mean, we care about players' safety, but then we make them play 3 games in 8 days. So like, where are we drawing the line there? So what's 5 more minutes in overtime? Especially the way teams play in overtime, it's just milk the clock, milk the clock. You get 1 possession each. Maybe one team gets 2. It feels like, and so
Well, in a Chiefs
it's
game, you're
yeah,
getting
like
one possession.
yeah, like come
They
on,
milk
man.
that fucking clock.
Yeah,
Are you
like
kidding me? We
it
saw
needs.
it in the Super Bowl a few years ago. That's
Yeah,
exactly what they did.
I think it needs to be 15 minutes. So if you're going to give both teams the ball, then you got to
Yep.
give both teams a half a quarter to possess the ball if they're going to even milk it, because that's about 7 to 8 minutes to if you want to milk it to get down the whole field.
Yep.
So I like that both teams get the ball. We'll see how it affects. I mean, there's not many OT games
Yep.
even in the regular season, but I still think there needs to be more time.
Okay. Okay. I'll let them know. No, I'm just kidding. What do you think about the touchback rule? Moving to 35.
I'm fucking sick of I'm sick of kickoff rules too, and something new
Somebody
every
brought this
year.
up today. I just real quick before you go in.
Yeah,
He said, I don't understand why we pay so much attention to the kickoff. He said, usually when teams are kicking off, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm getting a bite to eat. I don't know why that came up. I'm getting a bite to eat. I'm doing like whatever I can because it's a 3-hour fucking game. I'm not going to watch the entire fucking game with no potty break, nothing like that, Like, so what if it's a touchback? Thank God I didn't miss
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Like, why do I need to be like, is football not entertaining? Are we really worried about the entertainment of football in the game? Like, I don't think people are complaining about how entertaining football is. So why the fuck are we changing kickoff and making it more entertaining?
I don't
Anyways,
know.
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't know. It's always something new every year.
Yep.
It was fine to begin it with the way it was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why we have so many tweaks. And even this last year, like, it was fine. Yeah, no one really, there's a couple kickoff returns, not many, but they're electric when they do happen, right? They always have been. But I don't
Yep.
think a team should start on the 35 fucking yard line, man. This is already an
No.
offensive dominated league.
No,
Why are we
dude.
starting them at midfield? There's most teams, the Cowboys, they're 2 first downs away from a field goal, just like
I
that.
was just about to say.
Just
Yep.
because you kicked it a little bit too far. Like, what the fuck, man? I think it's stupid. I think you should start at the 25 or the 20 like it used to be. You want a touchdown, you go earn it yourself. You want points, you go down the field and you deserve it. And maybe that's the more
Yeah.
defensive minded football that I like to play and like to watch, but I don't think you should be starting damn near half at midfield, man.
Dude, you got to get like what, 20 yards?
Yeah. You're
20 yards
63-yard
to get a
field goal
field
range.
goal
Yeah.
nowadays? Like, that's bullshit. And then last one I want to talk about Tush Push, which I believe this got tabled too, right?
Mm.
What do you think about teams trying to ban it?
I think it was like 1 or 2 votes
Yep.
short of actually being like overturned, like no tush push. And right, like the biggest like argument is like, oh, everyone can do it. Well, you do it better than us then. If you're so worried about it, you do it. But then we saw like Chris Jones, man, neck injury, right?
Yep.
You're playing nose tackle. It's
So you're
pretty
against it.
dangerous. So, I mean, like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, if it got banned, I'd be okay. It's not banned. I'm okay. Like, if you want to care about player safety, then you got to ban it. But if you don't care about player safety, then just let the better team do it. But it is a lot of weight on one person. So
Yep.
I'm kind of indifferent to it. I don't really care. I think
Yeah.
if either everyone can do it or no one can do it, I'm fine with it either way. It's interesting to see.
See, I'm on the side it should stay, and here's why.
Me.
Because like we saw with the Bills, like for the most of the year, they did it really well, and they were able to do it just like the Eagles. Nobody was really talking about it. Then it came playoff times, and Chiefs shut them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, player safety, whatever. I don't know. Maybe maybe this guy gets some hate, but like you said, like there's so many rules that are wishy-washy in terms of player safety. So we either need to be consistent across the board or not consistent or like not making those rules. Like we can't have it both ways. So I don't know. What bothers me is that one team does it really well, and so we want to ban it.
Yeah.
If every team was doing it really well,
No problem.
like would we really be having this issue? I don't think so.
No.
So the fact that it seems targeted,
Mm-hmm.
I don't love that.
Yeah. No.
Like it's not like they're not doing anything
No.
in my opinion that's hurting the game,
Mm-hmm.
or like in my opinion, if anything, it's become iconic, which is exactly what the NFL wants, right? They want those iconic moments. People, oh, it's a tush push, it's a tush push, like I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but
Yeah. I don't know. If you don't want him to tush push, don't let him get within half a yard of a first down. I
exactly.
can see that side. Another rule I saw, I don't know if you have it there. This got tabled, but the Lions brought it up. The seeding for the playoffs is seeded by record. Like you still get your 4 divisional teams in, but then the 1 through 7s is seeded based on record. Just because we saw what happened last year, in their division, them getting a 5 seed, even though they had 14 wins or 15 wins, right? Like
Yep.
Vikings or whatever. Yeah. So, but that got tabled. What do you think about that? Do you think that should be implemented at some point, or are you okay with the division winners getting home games, even if they're like 7-9?
I see it both ways. I see it from the standpoint of like divisional games should matter, and like what is the point of a division if you win your division and then you're not even like you don't get any advantage. So I think it's like you have to kind of take your stance on like, do you really think there's like any importance in division? And right now that is the importance. You win your division, you get a home game. So I like it from that standpoint. But on the other side of it, you know, a just for example, like a 14-3 team, do I think they should be playing away? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that's how it rolls in a really tough division. So I see it both ways, but I kind of like the divisions. I don't know. Maybe I'm on the minority here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm against you on this one. I think if
Yeah.
you have a good season, that you should be seated accordingly. And I still think that like division winners should get in. Like I'm not saying the top 7 teams should get in
Yep.
from each
You
side,
just think
but
if you
yeah,
have the better record, yeah.
yeah, you win your division, you should get into the playoffs. But if you're 7-9, man, you should not get a host a 14-3 team. Like
Yeah.
they went out, they beat teams in your conference, they beat teams in the other conference. Like they've
Yeah.
proven how good that they
That's fair.
are.
You might have changed my
Yeah,
mind.
and so, but I mean, also most of the time, a team that good is going to go on the road and still win either way.
True.
It's more of the
True.
second round matchups then that you're looking at, right? Because if you're seeded a 3 seed at 14-3, you win, then you're good chance of getting a home game in
True.
the second round. So
True.
plays longer
That's
implications,
fair.
deeper you go into the
True.
playoffs.
All right. Well, let's end this pod with something new. A little NBA hoop grid. Me and Kaden might be terrible at this. So the goal of the game, Kaden, I'm sure you've seen this, is you're trying to get rare players. Not just your everyday guy. So let's start with this hoop grid. All right, we got up top, we got Nuggets, Knicks, played in 2010. On the left, we got OKC, Lakers, and Carmelo Anthony teammate.
Whew. Okay.
We got some tough ones here.
Yeah.
All right, where do you want to start?
All right, let's stop. Let's go top left and go across. Obviously, we got Russell Westbrook. That'll be the most obvious, right? Like,
Yep.
if we just want to
Definitely the
fire,
most obvious.
get a player in there. There we go. Bang.
Yep.
Who else?
Trying to think. I'm
No.
wondering if do you think it's only OKC or do you think they include Seattle on this too? Not that that would change anything for me. I'm just
Probably no.
asking.
Probably just OKC,
Okay.
right? Like,
Yeah. I'm thinking guys like Kendrick Perkins. Did he end up on Nuggets ever? No.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Yeah.
Trying to think of random players that like made stops multiple teams.
Right. Like, no, Shumpert would have never played for the Nuggets.
Fuck. This might be
I
harder.
don't know.
We can skip that one for now. Let's go Knicks OKC. Hartenstein is the obvious one, I think, here.
Then I don't remember anyone that's ever played for OKC. As soon as you put me on the spot, I'm like, oh,
I know.
fuck.
2010's OKC. Who was the white guy who was not Steven Adams? They had another white guy. You know who I'm talking about? He was like a power forward. Fuck. I can see him in my head right now.
Oh no. Maybe we're bad at basketball. Maybe we shouldn't do
bad at
basketball
this.
take.
Maybe we should never do this again.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Got okay. Carmelo and the Knicks, right?
I'm gonna put for this one. I'm gonna put Thabo Sefolosha, and I know it's not gonna be great, but I'm just gonna put him there just to see what our score is. That's not bad.
Yeah, we'll take that
that
one. Yeah,
I'll take that.
I like Sefolosha.
Lakers. I think this is our easiest column in my opinion.
Probably, yeah.
Played in 2010 with the Lakers.
But you're trying to think of their worst years. Who's leading that team? Like when they were bad.
Steve Nash.
Kobe Bryant.
Who is on that young stars team with like Lonzo Ball, D'Angelo Russell, Kyle Kuzma? Trying to think who else was on that team.
Fuck, Lamar Odom, right? He played in 2010. I don't know why his name just came to my mind.
Do we want to try him? Just see what it is?
Right. We can go, like, we get multiple tries, right? If we really wanted to. Yeah.
Damn!
Ooh! Okay, because that was
not what I expected.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll stay there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, played in 2010, Carmelo Anthony, teammate. Top ones that come to mind, Amari Stoudemire. I don't know why my mind immediately went there.
Was Carmelo on the Linsanity team? Or is that?
Yeah, do we want to try him?
Yeah, might as well try Lin.
Jeremy Lin.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Yep.
We could have also done that for the Knicks.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that for the Knicks, actually?
Ooh.
Change this one?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's try to think of a different.
All right.
2010s. Oh gosh.
And
Was he on Portland in 2010s? Was that in 2020s?
I think that was 2020s. Trying to think, was he on the Lakers in late 2010s, right? Or is that early 2020s too?
I think that was early 2020s.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely think that was early 2020s. He was definitely on the. Was he on the Nick or Nuggets in 2010s or was that 2000s? I don't even remember
might
that
have been
Nuggets
early.
game.
Yeah, it might have been early 2010. Or
Did he play with like Paul Millsap? You think? You think
no,
he crossed paths?
fire it in there. We got
No,
guesses. All
no.
right.
All right.
Uh,
I'm trying to think of centers. I
no.
feel like those are the most random positions. Like, who is the center on
Ty-
the
Ty-
Knicks?
Tyson Chandler, right? Was he Knicks guy? He was.
Yeah, he definitely was. We'll take.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
damn! What a
There we go.
pull,
Center, baby.
Jeremy
All
Lin.
right. Watch this be like 20%.
Oh shit.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We got
Okay.
a better guy though than Lynn on the other one, so
Do we want to? We want to try Jeremy Lin better than
we could
Jeremy Lin?
probably find something better, right?
Chandler was a good one.
What did I
I
say? Oh,
like that.
I said Iman Shumpert earlier, so fire him in there, right? He was
We'll
okay,
take it. We'll take it.
better.
All right. Do you remember who's on Carmelo's team? Because like I cannot for the life of
I
me.
just think of Stoudemire,
Wh-
man, which
Did he
sucks.
play with Allen Iverson? Yeah, too
Yeah,
easy.
but fuck, who else? Who else is on that Nuggets
I
Carmelo team?
seriously, for the life of me, cannot think of that Nuggets team.
Which sucks. You play with them in 2K a million times back in the day,
Yeah.
so like I should come up with.
Fuck. Only 71 possible players. Oh
All right,
god. We'll come back to that. We'll come
yeah.
back to that. All right, Nuggets or let's go Lakers Knicks.
Okay.
Obviously Carmelo.
Yeah. Just trying to goad you
Um,
there. Like, think forwards.
who's did Schroeder ever play on the Nugget or the Knicks?
I don't think so, even though he's been on
I
90
think it was
teams.
the Nets, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on a lot of teams.
Didn't Paul Gasol like have like a short stunt with the Knicks? Am I tripping?
You can try it. I don't
Yeah, he
know.
didn't. No. I'm thinking of someone else. I swore he went to like a random team after though.
Yeah. Where did J.R. Smith? Did he play on the Knicks or in the Nuggets with Carmelo?
There you go.
Okay, but what about bottom left? Like, was he on the Nuggets?
Oh.
Was he like just starting out? I don't know how old he
I
was.
don't can I remove him? I don't think I can guess him twice. Yeah, I can't guess him twice.
Huh. Shit. All right, who else? Fuck. Who else played?
All right, where do we want to go next?
All right, Lakers Nuggets. Let's try it.
Okay. I can't even think for the life of me of like okay, let's try Paul Millsap here, right? Paul Millsap definitely played on the Lakers, right? Dude, I swear
No,
I'm
yeah,
tripping on Paul Millsap.
yeah. Uh, um. Okay, I'm just trying to think who else played with these guys back in the day. All right. All right. Chauncey Billups, right? For if not this one, then Carmelo teammate with the Nuggets.
There we go.
All right.
No.
Instead of AI, I think. Right, they play together.
Definitely. There
Okay.
we go.
Okay.
Much better. Good job.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck.
I just can't like for the life of me, I can't think of who's been on the Nuggets, if I'm being honest. That's what's like
Yeah,
I'm struggling with.
I know. Jeremy Lamb never played for both.
Jeremy Lamb's a good pull
I don't
right
know
there.
why. Just his name just came to my mind, but I don't
Jeremy
know.
Lamb I thought was
I
gonna
don't.
be a dog, bro.
Who else? Trying to think of guards for the Nuggets. Fuck, who else did they could have potential?
What about what's his name? THT?
Oh, Tucker Horton, or something, right?
Is
Oh,
it
what was his first name?
Kaden Horton Tucker?
Yeah. Oh.
Fuck. I thought that was gonna be a good poll.
Gordon Hayward. Fuck. Gordon Hayward never played with any one of these teams. Fuck. No, he's just in OKC, Boston, Jazz. Nope. Oh my God. Big white center for the Lakers. I think he played for the Nuggets too. Fuck. What's his name? He's like a big. Oh, he's kind of an oaf. Right. Oh my God. I know. I can see his face. Big white guy. It's gonna hurt. Timothy Mozgov. Right. He played for both.
Dang, Kaden!
Hey,
What a fucking
bro.
poll!
All I can think of are centers. Like that's all I
Yeah,
can.
I
I can't
know.
think of any guards right now. It's pissing me off. Okay.
Who are the brothers? Twin brothers. You know what I'm talking about? Marcus Morgan. Yeah, Marcus
Oh,
Morris, Markeith. Have
yeah,
they been
Markieff
on
and
both of
Marcus.
these? Has either one of them been on the Thunder?
Fuck.
I can try both.
Yeah,
Just
right. It's
fuck
gotta
it.
be.
No. All right, let's try Markeith. How the fuck do you spell that?
No,
No.
fuck. Has KCP played for either OKC or the Knicks? Because he played for the Nuggets, but I don't know if he played for.
We can try it. I don't know if he played
I
for
think
the
it's just
Thunder.
Lakers, and yeah, that's just. Oh no!
Let's try it.
Put A and go down the list.
What about Jeremy Lin here? Did he ever play on the Thunder? No. I didn't think he did, but it was good. Had to try it. OKC, bro. OKC's fucking me up, bro.
I know. All right.
How many possible players? There's only 49, bro.
Fuck.
That's the
Alright.
thing. There's only 49 on both.
Try to just go guards now. Who was a guard for the Nuggets? Like back in the day.
What about like Darren Collison?
Like Knicks, maybe. That's what it sounds.
Fuck.
No.
I'll try it for both.
Yeah.
I feel like he bounced around though. Or wasn't Eric Gordon on the Thunder?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe he suck. Bledsoe. No.
I can try it.
Yeah. No. About Eric Gordon here.
You said Eric Gordon? Yeah, I already tried it.
About fuck. Aaron Gordon was on the Magic and the
Steven Adams ever on the Knicks?
No.
What about oh god, I can see him. Fucking the 4 for the Thunder. What was his name? Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka. I don't think so, but he might have played for the Knicks.
No.
Oh, my God.
Definitely not played for the
No. Kendrick Perkins never played for the Knicks or the Nuggets.
I didn't think so. He's only played for 2 teams, I think.
Celtics and the Thunder. Yeah. All right, and go back to guards.
Who was on that Thunder team like before SGA? Paul George, Russell Westbrook. Who do you play with?
They sucked back then. Oh, who's there? Oh, you already got him, right? Is it Darren Collinson? Was that the white center that played for the Thunder?
No, but I know who you're talking about. That's who I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah. Fuck, now I think of him. I can't see his face. Oh, my God. Right. Shea was drafted after Nate Robinson, right? Played for the Thunder and the Nuggets,
Dude, I think you're right here.
right?
If they're counting the Sonics for sure. Bam!
Nice. There we go.
Yeah,
Didn't he play for the Nuggets too and the Thunder? Like, I swear Nate Robinson played for all three.
he might have. Yeah, I think you're right. I wish we could enter him twice.
Oh God, I wonder which one he's more rare on. Fuck. Shit. I mean, can you go, if you finish the board, can you change it
Yeah.
after? Okay.
I don't think so, actually.
Oh, so we can put Russ there for now and then see. But fuck.
Russ is too obvious.
I know it's the most obvious. Baca never played for both.
Hey, Robinson was a good one. What about Isaiah Thomas?
I don't think so.
No.
Fuck.
We might have to give up here.
Fuck. It's gotta be.
I think I'm just gonna do it unless you have anyone else.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant. I don't think he played for the Nuggets though, but he's the only other Thunder I can think of.
Bam, baby. Bam, you carried my ass.
Oh God.
All right. Well, that was a little bit painful. By the time you watch this, it'll be edited, so you don't have to be so painful.
Yeah.
But
God.
thank you all for joining. And as always, folks, stay logical and run that nonsense.